Welcome to AK Anime Explainer. Today is explanation of Soul Land 3, Legend of the Dragon King Part 92. Without any delay, start explanation. So senior sister will be in Yuan and Yehue's class. The thought of Yuan and Yehue reminded Tang Wulin of the 20,000 contribution points he had been fined, and his heart soon began to ache. If not for the exceptional circumstances, he probably would have given Xie a good beating. After all, this fine came about because Xie peeked on a girl. However, Tang Wulin could tell that there was something amiss with Xie lately. Even though they were basically sworn brothers, there wasn't much he could do beyond offering a few words of comfort. In the past, Tang Wulin had a fairly good relationship with Yuanan. However, now that Yuanan became Yuan and Yehue, and after the recent incident, he was afraid it wouldn't be easy to repair their relationship. The entire incident had been Xie's fault, and Tang Wulin had taken action without completely understanding the situation. He resolved to find her and apologize when he got back. Mushi escorted Tang Wulin to the entrance of the building. "I'm going to campus to report tomorrow. I'll give you a call once I get there." "Okay," Tang Wulin replied. "Senior sister, there's a lot of freedom at Shrek. Since you're a 4th-rank blacksmith, you'll definitely be very popular." Mushi snorted. "What's so great about being a 4th-rank blacksmith? You're already at the 5th rank. Who knows when I'll finally catch up to you?" Tang Wulin gave her a wry smile. "What's your soul power rank at now, senior sister?" "Rank 38, she answered. "Wow. You're almost at rank 40. I'll probably get to rank 30 around the time you reach rank 40. When that happens, let's try spirit refining together. Senior sister, have you decided to become a battle armor master?" Mushi paused for a moment, staring at him blankly. "I haven't thought about that before. I've only ever wanted to be a great blacksmith. I think you should work toward becoming a battle armor master like me," Tang Wulin exclaimed. "Shrek is a place where geniuses grow and prosper. Not taking advantage of it would be a waste. Becoming a battle armor master is the requirement for graduating from the outer court anyway. Making battle armor will definitely help us a lot. It will make us more powerful, aid in our cultivation, and will also improve our blacksmithing skills. With it boosting our cultivation, we will be capable of higher-level blacksmithing even sooner. We'll be doing half the work for double the results." Mushi mulled it over. Although her soul power rank was higher than Tang Wulin's, she was 17 years old this year. She couldn't be considered anything great in Shrek Academy. In fact, she was a bit below average. "What you're saying does make some sense, but can I really do it? If you're determined, nothing's impossible. Let's do our best, senior sister." All right." As Mushi watched Tang Wulin's departing figure, she subconsciously clenched her fists. "I'll definitely do my best," she muttered. "I won't fall too far behind you. I'm going to catch up one day." Sun with rays. At the working student dormitory, Xie paced back and forth in front of a door, occasionally rubbing his hands nervously. The dormitory had been cleaned up and all the broken windows replaced. Xie had done it all himself. Even after replacing the window panes, he wiped all of them until they were sparkling. He was the only person in the dormitory at the moment. Xu Xiaoyan had gone to report to the Designers Association, Gu had disappeared as she usually did, Tang Wulin had gone out as well, and neither Yuan nor Yu Jingyu had returned yet. Xie continuously replayed the forbidden scene he had witnessed that day. Although he only remembered her hazy silhouette, the room had been misty with only a dim light. The image was burned into his mind. To a youth of no more than 13 years old, the impact of that scene had been too much for his innocent heart. All of a sudden, the sound of footsteps rang out. Xie's heart leaped to his throat and he quickly hid. After a moment, he realized that it was just Yu Jingyu. Yu Jingyu wore a dour expression. He thought he had finally caught an evil soul master, but instead he had misidentified her and was punished. It was as if fate were playing a cruel joke on him. The sight of Xie made his face darken even further. "What are you doing here?" "Oh, all of the windows are fixed." Xie nodded. Yu Jingyu walked over to Xie, a slight smirk on his lips. Are you waiting here to admit you were wrong? Xie knitted his brow. Why does it matter if I admit it? It's only natural for me to acknowledge my mistakes. Then you can just wait here patiently. Yu Jingyu chuckled and casually placed his hands behind his head as he turned toward his room. Be careful though. Tang Wulin and the others aren't here this time, so don't make her mad again. You'll be toast if you do. Xie grumpily shooed Yu Jingyu away, then turned to the dormitory entrance and waited. Just as he turned around, he was astonished to see Yuan and Yehui returning. She walked in complete silence, completely ignoring Xie as she returned to her room. Yuan and Yehui currently wore her usual men's uniform and had her Yuan disguise on. If Xie hadn't confirmed her femininity with his own eyes, he wouldn't have been able to claim that she was wearing a disguise. Summoning his courage, Xie ran over before she could enter her room. Yuan, he exclaimed. Yuan and Yehui stopped and turned to him, both of her eyes icy to their very cores. Before her aura of fury, Xie couldn't help but falter. Screw off, she yelled, going into her room and slamming the door in Xie's face. I came to apologize, Xie mumbled to the door. A loud bang resounded from within the room, startling Xie. Fearing for his life, he immediately took off running. He was still traumatized by Yuan and Yehui's killing intent from that night. Inside of her room, Yuan and Yehui threw herself onto her bed. The ice in her eyes instantly thawed, and in its place was emptiness. She lay there unmoving, and soon enough, tears began streaming down her face. Yet she did not sob a single time. Sun with rays. By the time Tang Wulin returned to the dormitory, Yu had come back as well. Tang Wulin frowned when he saw Xie sitting on his bed, staring off into nothingness. What's going on? Why do you look so dazed? Xie slowly turned to Tang Wulin, his blank expression transitioning into one of defeat. I went to go apologize to Yuan and Yehui, but she completely disregarded me. Tang Wulin made dumbfounded face. You can't be so impatient, he said. You have to wait for her to calm down before you try apologizing. Just forget about it for now and focus on earning enough contribution points to pay off your fine. You can just work on slowly making amends. As she is now, however, things between you two won't be easy to fix. Anyway, just be careful and try to not make her angry. Xie smiled bitterly. I know. I don't want to die just yet. Your thinking has been wrong these past few days, Tang Wulin said. Shayon is practicing her designing, so why aren't you over at the Makers Association? The competition here is so fierce, yet you're not making good use of your time. Are you trying to be one of the 10 people that'll be expelled? Stop overthinking things. The past is the past. Just focus on improving yourself first. If you don't, you won't survive even a minute against Yuan. Tang Wulin's words lit a fire in Xie's eyes. You're right, he cried. I'm still too weak compared to her. First, I need to become strong. As soon as he finished speaking, he leaped from his bed and made for the door. Where are you going? Tang Wulin asked. I'm going to the Makers Association to practice. Xie shouted as he dashed out the door. Tang Wulin couldn't help but smile. That guy's mood changes so often. Well, at least he recovers quickly too. Tang Wulin climbed onto his bed, closed his eyes, and began meditating. As of now, nothing was more important for him than reaching rank 30. Tang Wulin. Kiddo, are you here? Just as Tang Wulin began clearing his mind of distracting thoughts, a familiar voice called to him from outside and his eyes shot open. Why'd he come all the way here to find me? Having no other choice, he got up and went outside. The moment he set foot out of his room, Tang Wulin saw the energetic Feng Wuyu. I'm here, Elder Feng, he said. What are you here for? What? Am I not welcome here? Feng Wuyu scowled at him. Tang Wulin smiled apologetically. You're welcome here? Of course you are. There's no way you wouldn't be welcome. Did you need something from me? Feng Wuyu snorted. It's your win, kid. I admit defeat. Now come with me. With no further explanation, he grabbed Tang Wulin, threw him over his shoulder, and rushed off like a gale. Seconds later, they were in Feng Wuyu's workshop. Tang Wulin sighed in resignation. Elder Feng, can you stop doing this all the time? I'll give you my number, so you can just call me when you need me. You don't have to abduct me every single time, you know? Feng Wuyu threw Tang Wulin to the ground. We can talk about that later. First, I'm going to help you get to rank 30. Elder Feng, I don't have any money or contribution points. Tang Wulin shouted. I still have a 20,000 point fine to pay off. You can't force me to do this. Tang Wulin still owed Yuan and Yehui 20,000 contribution points. Even if he paid her by way of 1,000 refining, he would have to buy the raw metal himself. If he needed to pay Feng Wuyu 10 spirit refinings as well, it would take even longer for him to pay off his debt. The success rate for spirit refining was low, and countless pieces of metal would be reduced to scraps in the process of successfully spirit refining 10 times. Quit complaining. I'll lower the price to 5 spirit refinings just for you. And in case that's not enough, the association will provide you with the metal to forge. Tang Wulin stopped struggling at Feng Wuyu's words. Just 5? And they'll give me the metal free of charge too. If I don't have to buy the metal, I'll save a ton of money. Sensing the change in Tang Wulin, Feng Wuyu scowled. I get it now. Kid, you're a super stingy money grubber. Tang Wulin broke into a smile that fell a bit short of being straight. Elder Feng, I'm not a money grubber. I'm just from a poor family. If I don't plan each cent of my spending every day, then I can't afford to eat. Don't forget, I'm a working student. I have to pay for my meals too. I can't afford not to be stingy. How about you cover all my meals too? If you do, then I'll listen to anything you say. Give me a break already. Feng Wuyu groaned, throwing his hands up in the air. Then he pinched the bridge of his nose. Fine, I'll cover your meals. But only if you accept me as your teacher. Deal. Mu Chen had urged him to be his student. Feeding himself was currently his biggest challenge after all. Tang Wulin's quick response left Feng Wuyu in a daze. He narrowed his eyes seconds after, suspicion thick in the air. Why do you agree so quickly? You're acting like a little thief. What's going on? Tang Wulin revealed a fox's smile. It just so happens I met teacher Mu Chen today, and he agreed to let me accept you as my teacher. Of course, teacher Mu Chen is still one of my teachers too. Elder Feng, your words have a lot of weight, you know? So you have to keep your promise. Feng Wuyu understood now. Kid, you really know how to take advantage of opportunities. That kid Mu Chen is also quite tactful. I was actually planning on paying him a nice visit and rampaging a bit. HMPH. If Mu Chen were present to hear Feng Wuyu's words, he definitely would have broken out into a cold sweat. Feng Wuyu was a true madman. Besides Mu Chen, not even Zhenhua, the divine blacksmith and president of the Blacksmiths Association, dared provoke him. Elder Feng, so you agreed to pay for my food, right? To Tang Wulin, this was the most important part of their deal. You're still calling me Elder Feng? Feng Wuyu massaged his forehead with his hands, his previous irritation snuffed out. Do you think I'm senile? Teacher. Tang Wulin quickly corrected himself. For a moment, because of the pride from acquiring Tang Wulin as a student, he let slip a giant grin. After enjoying his new disciple's salute for a while longer, he kicked Tang Wulin from the ground. All right. Get up, you brat. You're my disciple from now on. If anyone dares bully you on campus, just tell me and I'll go beat the crap out of them. Thank you, teacher. Tang Wulin lowered his head, the picture of respect. Now that Feng Wuyu was his teacher, Tang Wulin acted completely differently than before. There was a limit to how impudent Tang Wulin could act. He understood the saying, a teacher for a day, a father for life. That he made it this far and accumulated what little achievements he had were in large part due to the guidance and life lessons of his teachers, Mang Qian, Mu Chen, and Wu Zhongkong. If not for them, perhaps Tang Wulin would still be in glory-bound city, doomed to mediocrity. But he had had the fortune of learning under those three, and now he was the first grades class president at the continent's greatest academy. "Are you your class's blacksmith representative?" Feng Wuyu asked. Tang Wulin nodded, a proud smirk forming on his lips. "I'm the class president too." "Are you serious?" His voice hitched up an octave from the shock. "Mn," Tang Wulin nodded happily as he waited for his teacher's praise. Although he wasn't the strongest person in his class, he was still the class president. There were only 6 class presidents in the entire outer court. However, reality was not as forgiving. So a 2-ringed soul master is the class president. Looks like this year's batch of new students isn't anything special. Tang Wulin's face fell. "All right, enough nonsense. Let's get you to rank 30 now. The longer you can practice spirit refining, the better. Same thing with starting earlier. Now sit upright and stabilize your body." Tang Wulin quickly straightened his back and steadied his core. Sitting behind Tang Wulin, Feng Wuyu raised both hands. In an instant, absolute silence descended on the workshop. Tang Wulin noticed this change, but he couldn't begin to fathom what had happened. Then Feng Wuyu placed his hands on Tang Wulin's back and said, "No matter how painful this is, just endure it. You have to persevere. Understood?" "Yes," Tang Wulin answered. "Pain? I've already endured the torture from breaking the seals. There's no way it could be worse." 2 gentle, gurgling streams of energy poured into his body, filling him with a soothing warmth. The 2 energies stirred and merged with Tang Wulin's soul power and blood essence. "Circulate this energy the same way you would when you cultivate," Feng Wuyu said. Applying the mysterious heaven method, Tang Wulin willed his spiritual power to guide the warm energy, moving it along with his soul power. He could feel his meridians being purified as the energy ran through them, leaving behind a faint golden hue wherever it traveled. Somewhat elastic as his meridians were, they were not immune to feeling bloated. Despite this, Tang Wulin experienced no pain. As soon as Feng Wuyu let out a bewildered grunt from behind him, the flow of warm energy grew from a stream to a torrent. Tang Wulin felt more and more bloated as time passed, but as Feng Wuyu had instructed, he continued to circulate the energy through his body. While the amount of energy within his meridians continued to increase, he maintained skillful control of it. Soon, he finished 1 cycle of the mysterious heaven method. His meridians and body were saturated with energy now. Each of them pulsed, seared as if on fire. Even so, Tang Wulin went through it all, knowing his soul power was increasing. "Endure it," Feng Wuyu commanded. Tang Wulin obeyed, continuing to circulate his soul power. After familiarizing himself with the energy, the next cycle went by faster than before. With each circulation cycle, Tang Wulin felt the improvement in his soul power and the purification of his meridians, not to mention the fading of the bloated feeling. "Teacher, what sort of soul power is this? How can it have this kind of effect? Is it actually refining my meridians?" This was Tang Wulin's first time experiencing something of this nature. However, he wasn't naive to its value. He understood how incredible this procedure was, and what a stroke of luck this was. Not only did the warm energy refine his meridians, it also strengthened his viscera and bones. Comfort washed over him, replacing the previous bloated feeling. It'd be great if cultivating was always like this. After Tang Wulin completed his 49th circulation cycle, the warmth began to make its way into his dantian, spiraling toward the center. "Stop!" Feng Wuyu ordered. The energy swirled within Tang Wulin's dantian, combining with his soul power to form a whirlpool. Something was pressed to his lips all of a sudden, leaving behind a cool tingle. "Open your mouth." Right when he complied, a cool object fell down his throat, melting into a liquid then flowing into his dantian. Immediately, Tang Wulin felt a burst of cold energy within him. The cool sensation morphed into a freezing chill, spreading to every corner of his body in an instant. This video will end here. Like video and subscribe to my channel.